Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nurturing Astrology podcast. I'm Dominique your astrologer and host. On this show, I will bring you practical guidance and insight from my own work, studies, and life experiences, as well as interview experts to bring you stellar wisdom from other teachers and professionals. I'm so glad you're here, and thanks for tuning in. Okay, let's dive into today's show. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Nurturing Astrology podcast. I'm Dominique, your astrologer and host.
And welcome to this week's Astrology in Education Thought Starter, where we explore one big question each week about how astrology might reshape the future of learning. I'm Melody, your astrologer educator and co-host.
Awesome. Welcome. Okay, so if you've missed our foundational episode, definitely go back and listen to episode 1 and you will learn about our true mission here and how this all got started and why we're here with the thought starters each week. So today we're asking the question, what could it look like to bring astrology into education and into the classroom, right? So let's dive in. Melody, I know you have a lot of great insight in this. So why is this a great place to start? What are your thoughts? Let's get the ball rolling.
Well, Dominique, as you know, I get really excited about all the different ways that astrology can come in and inform lots of different things in the classroom. But today, what's on my mind is the calendar shifts. We're recording this at the end of October and thinking about moving from October into November. And especially lower elementary teachers make a big deal about the calendar. They're teaching children the days of the week, the months of the year, the seasons, the weather. And one of the interesting pieces that can be brought into the classroom, especially if you're looking for new content, is the shift between signs. The shift can be tied to the shift between seasons because the signs start during those last 10 days of our calendar months, and that's typically when our seasons start. So the signs are tied to the seasons, with Aries beginning at the beginning of spring, at that March 19th through the 21st window. And so integrating that teaching maybe in the later half of a year where you've reviewed, covered the basics of the calendar, so it's not too confusing, but it also adds a historical piece. Like there's a little bit of history that you can add in there for flavor around our calendar systems have changed over time. A lot of different peoples use different calendar systems, and this is an ancient one that still gets used today in different ways than one might expect. I love the idea of the patterns in the signs, and how we as humans quite often still resonate with the pattern of where our sun sign is located. And that's super exciting for younger elementary students as well, as finding patterns in things, especially when it comes to numbers.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It seems like a shoo-in, yeah. And I think it can really help teachers guide their curriculum and things like that. I think it's a great place to start this connection to the calendar because that is what astrology is. That's what we're doing all the time when we're writing. Is like, here's the season. We talk about it when you write. We're in Scorpio season. What is the energy? What are the vibes? What so they are seasons. I mean, I know there are some astrologers who don't like to use the word seasons for the zodiac, but I
Sure.
feel like it aligns quite well. And I think it's, there are rhythms and there you feel the energy shift. We do feel them. So it's a way of kind of reconnecting, embodying the energies that are our kids are actually feeling, whether they talk about it or not, whether they are conscious of it or not. We're all feeling it. So that's part of, I think, of bringing astrology into consciousness, allows us to tune into our own rhythms. We do that with the moon, right?
Absolutely. I was going to bring the moon up next. But to your point, one of the things I think we people can distance astrology from the seasons if that works for them. But I think it's to our detriment to cut it off from the seasons, because I believe astrology was built around our ancient ancestors observing the
Yep.
change in seasons
Yep.
and observing the patterns in the sky. And to cut off astrology from observation of the seasons is to undermine the very foundation it was built on. So yeah, I really feel like um, you don't have to tie it to the seasons, and a lot of things can happen that are different than what we associate with a season
Mhm.
based on what's going on in the sky, but you can't ignore the fact that the season is happening.
Exactly.
And as far as the moon goes, just a basic, I'm sure it's covered in elementary science around the moon and its phases,
Yep.
but also knowing which sign the moon is in, it changes every 2.5 days, can be super helpful for memorization, really, if you're just paying attention to that, and knowing that the moon is expressive
Mhm.
and will express whatever that particular sign is going through or experiencing or is happening
Yeah.
aspect wise,
Yeah.
can really give you some insight into the environment, the human generated emotional environment of the classroom,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
especially if you're also paying attention to what signs are represented in the classroom.
Yeah.
If you have a few Scorpios and suddenly the moon's in Scorpio, like you might expect that they are expressing something.
Yeah, or what they are expressing is a little bit more dramatic, more intense that day. You know,
Yeah.
it's this is really lighting up some things in my brain too about we learn astrology through observation. Like we
Yes.
preach that a lot is, conscious parenting is like observe your child. Their chart will come alive if you know the astrology comes alive. Observation is key and knowing what they need. It's kind of giving me this idea that like teachers, if they really started to learn astrology, they could bring it in on the down low through observation. That's what I wanted to do when I wanted to do my research with the teacher was I wanted to observe the kids. I didn't want to talk to them or dive into their charts with their parents. I wanted to observe what I was
Yes.
learning and see what she saw, right? So teachers, if they understand they're teaching the phases of the moon, and if she understands what those phases really entail from an astrological perspective, the new beginnings, the waxing, the full, the waning, right? She can observe her classroom and she could even create curriculum around those kinds of cycles. And
Yes.
and you
Yes.
said it like then if she knows a little bit of the dynamics in her classroom, she can understand what she might be approaching that day or the energies of the week or that kind of thing could really help make a difference in how much she can cultivate the best possible environment and learning environment for
Yes.
them and give them kind of like tools for their own success without even really realizing it. Even the
Right.
days of the week we know represent a planet. We talk about all the time. Moon is, Monday, Tuesday's Mars, Wednesday's Mercury,
Yes.
Thursday is Jupiter, and Friday is Venus. So ease into the week. These kids have had a long weekend. They're probably tired on Monday. Like
Right.
using or realizing, hey, the moon is Monday, but the moon's in Aries, or the moon's in like Sag. It could be a big Monday, right? So
Right.
those kinds of, I think, basics could
Right.
just
Right.
to start observing and doing
Yeah.
their own little observations could make huge differences.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Emotional Intelligence Monday. Like,
Oh,
what
love it.
can,
Yep.
do you feel like moving? Moon is in Aries today. Let's all get up and like get our wiggles out,
Oh my
you
gosh, I love
know?
that. Emotional Intelligence Monday. I love
Yeah.
it. And then it's like
Yeah.
Action Tuesday. Is that project
Mhm.
orientated? What are we starting? And then
Yeah.
Mercury's that
Let's
day
see
for
our
like,
project
yeah,
progress.
our
Yeah.
progress. Or let's share ideas on Wednesday. Let's brainstorm about,
Hmm.
whatever we're learning. And
Right.
then in Thursdays, it's like take it to broader, like history, culture, like take it a little bit, to that next
Nice.
level. And then
Yeah.
get creative about it on Friday.
Yeah. Ooh, I
And get
love
into
it.
like one-on-one convos about something
Yes.
and or draw, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right. Very cool. And back to something you said earlier, astrology as a form of, or as an aid to observation. I love thinking of it because even on the down low, if it just acts as a matrix, I've seen people talk about astrology as a mnemonic device, which really is how people way back used it for remembering when things were going to happen.
mhm.
So just as far as the times, the seasons, the stars, when the flooding was going to happen of
Mhm.
the Nile River. Those types of things were observations. And now on a micro level in a classroom, if you're watching the moon go through and charting or observing how children are responding to different
Mhm.
days, to different moons, you can get a lot of really great information that never actually has to be spoken. It
Yep.
can be translated so easily. You never have to share the matrix that you've used for your observation if it works for you, and then just translate it into words that parents and coworkers can understand.
I love that. And that's why I mean it's like it's a way of astrology coming into education in this kind of like underground way
Hmm.
behind the
Hmm.
scenes that in this innovative way that teachers could really take that role of like, or astrologers creating curriculum for teachers who do want to use it as their matrix, who have this side passion and love for it, but don't really know the ways they could access it or bring it into their classroom.
Yeah,
So I don't know
yeah,
if anybody's out there who has that idea or like it could do that, or
yeah.
if you're a teacher and you're like, yeah, I'm down. Like, where's that class?
Right,
you know,
right.
let's
Yeah.
make that right.
Are you ready to are you ready to show the chart? Because I'm so excited
Yes.
about
Oh
talking
yes.
about sorting into groups.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Here we go, Melody. Here's the chart.
All right. So I absolutely love thinking about the modalities, the elements in each and every one of the signs, because the zodiac signs follow the seasonal calendar, starting with Aries in the spring. Aries is a cardinal sign. It begins the season. It's a very like cardinal is get things started. I'm the first. Let's go. And then the pattern proceeds around the zodiac, cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And you'll notice that for each sign, it goes the beginning of a season, the middle of a season, the end of a season. And typically what happens in the during the seasons is the initial energy happens in spring, it's growth. The then the maintenance, fixed, and then the dispersal. So you get in spring, you get a lot of like initial shoots, lots of rain and getting things out there. And then mutable starts with like pollination, really. And then cardinal again. Here we are in Cancer, the beginning of summer. Fixed, Leo, that strong sun energy. Mutable, Virgo, harvest time is happening. We're going to share the fruit. Fall, Cardinal, Libra, like here we are. Fixed, Scorpio, mutable, Sagittarius, and then Cardinal, fixed, and mutable in winter with Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Okay, I love this pattern. It divides the 12 up into four spots, three in each. But the other pattern is the fours, the elements, fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water, fire, earth, air, water. And what's beautiful about this, in even just teaching this look at the zodiac at a calendar, is that it shows a pattern. There is no there is only one cardinal fire. There is only one cardinal earth. There is only one cardinal water, and there's only one cardinal air. And so you get these patterns of each one of the 12 has its own unique signature because of the combination of elements and modes. Here's how it gets exciting when it comes to classrooms. You've got a very unique way to generate different groups in your classroom, and teachers are always looking for new ways to do that. This one, if it's kept on the down low, can look super random, but also has the added benefit of you get to use these ideas as far as who's going to work together in certain ways. So maybe you put all the mutable signs together and let them pass out papers because that's what mutable is. It's about distribution.
Love it.
Like they're the paper passer outers. The fixed signs are super interested in keeping order and things staying the same. So if you need them to maintain a system, like they will do it. You teach them the rules and they will keep it going. Cardinal, you need some new ideas or line leaders, like they're your people.
Love
So
it.
that's just one small, I'm sure teachers who have much more experience can think of so many more ways to use this. You and I already stumbled across that person who tried her tables by element and
Yep.
how the fire sign table was a little and so she learned from that. But
Yep.
it was interesting to me to think of all the different ways that just looking at kids' sun signs or maybe even moon signs, if you can find that out. Not moon signs harder to find out from just basics,
Yeah.
but it would be fascinating to see how just that much observation could lead to more learning for
Hmm.
teachers themselves.
Yes.
And just I didn't point it out, but the water and earth signs are represented with the minus sign, and the fire and air are the plus. That is a yin yang, masculine, feminine, receptive, productive, binary. And so that's also one more way if you just needed to divide the classroom in half, depending on your birth distribution, I suppose it wouldn't necessarily have, but be interesting.
Absolutely. I love that. Awesome. Awesome little tidbit there of just how we can use the zodiac. And the other thing that popped into my head, and this will be kind of a teaser for a little bit of the next talk too, is Mercury, which is, reading and communication and stuff. But
Oh yeah.
um, Mercury is either in the same sign as the sun or the one before or the one after.
Mm,
So that was my research project because the idea of learning styles, which is another fun one we can get into, but you know that a child's Mercury is typically going to either be in the same sign as their sun or one
mhm.
before, one after. So that's
That's
an
right.
exploration you could do. And that was kind of
Totally.
the research project I wanted to do was to observe their learning styles, right? Observe that or their communication. And
Yeah.
it's like, most of us have our Mercury in the same sun sign. A lot of them do. So, because it can go so far in its orbit. So that's a
Yeah.
fun one.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
You
my
have
gosh,
three
this is
choices for, if you know the sun sign, you have three choices for Mercury.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's pretty like once you know the energies, it's pretty distinguishable.
Right.
Like if someone is a Taurus, but they're talking like very forceful and intensely, like that's
That's an Aries
probably an Aries
Mercury.
Mercury, right? So it's
Yeah.
true, or it's in that, or it's just like always talking. It has that mutability. Then maybe it's moved into
Gemini.
Gemini. So it
Yeah.
is observable. I think that's kind
Yeah.
of the crux of this thought is
Hmm.
that teachers can observe astrology energies and in the classroom and then start to explore ways
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
group, to teach, and really bring the seasons and the energies and the elements and modes into the classroom in really foundational ways that could make big differences. And I think that's the
Yeah.
key, right? Little things that can make big differences,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that when we do have our joy, our hope is that if we get this astrology and education summit to invite teachers to have the idea that teachers could participate in this summit and learn some of these basic ways that they could
Hmm.
learn astrology and then observe it and bring it into the classroom in really really
Yeah.
unique and special ways that are fun for them and also so supportive for their kids.
And I think the compelling message that we can that I'm hearing both of us kind of reiterate is a role for teachers to play that really embodies Uranus and Gemini as a researcher. Like you're there, practical, hands-on in the classroom, able to observe. Like,
Ooh, yep.
yeah, I think that Uranus and Gemini role just really encapsulates a call to teachers right now. Although I also have to say, seeing how overwhelmed teachers are, I I like, wow, yeah, it's a compelling call. And also, what are you going to do for me? Come on, Uranus, do something amazing for teachers because they need a break.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. And what popped in my head when you said that was the Pluto in Aquarius, where there
Oh,
is forced change happening because systems are breaking down. So there needs to be innovation,
yeah.
right? And so if teachers don't or are not under the same pressures of systems or establishments, maybe
Yeah.
that's where this innovation can really become free. And right, and if you have
Yeah.
teachers who are interested in astrology and they're open, and there probably
Right.
are a lot, how fun would it be to bring their passion into the classroom?
Right.
I mean, then
Exactly.
you're starting to really blend things that you love, is
Hmm.
helping teach children, and your love of astrology and the cosmos, and seeing all these connections. And I think you're absolutely right. I think Uranus and Gemini is a call for innovation in this field, and for
Yeah.
teachers to be open to answering that call or be curious. So
Yes.
this was
Yes.
a great one, Melody. Don't you
Absolutely.
agree? Okay, I think that
I'm
what we would like to do you have a finishing thought?
Yes, I do. I'm
Okay.
I'm interested in hearing from teachers. Like
Yeah.
if you're in the comments and you're excited about this, we'd love to hear more from you. If you would like us to riff on something we touched on and didn't dive into, I really want to hear more and start a conversation with us. And I'm sure Dominique has where we are in the socials all planned out.
Yeah, you literally took that last thought right out of my brain. Perfect. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Perfect.
Excellent. Okay, everybody, we'll see you on the next Thought Starter. Stay tuned. Bye. Thanks for listening, and I hope you gained some great astrology insight and inspiration from today's show. I'd love to hear, so drop me a comment or share in a review. Check out the show notes for all the details and links about today's episode, how you can connect with me on social, or work with me directly. And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Oh, and for my moms out there, be sure to join my private Conscious Parenting with Astrology Moms group on Facebook. Come join a growing community of like-minded mamas supporting each other in the hardest job in the world with the help of astrology. Hope to see you over there. Take care and keep nurturing the nature, friends. I'll see you on the next episode.